Solving lead code question 583, delete operation for two strings. This is a dynamic programming question. It is a very typical dynamic programming question, and if you're already familiar with dynamic programming solutions, this should be fairly easy for you to follow. If you're starting out and if you're not very comfortable or familiar with dynamic programming questions yet, this is a good practice problem because it's quite easy to follow actually. Okay, so as far as the question goes, it's quite simple to understand the question itself. You're given two strings s1 and s2, and you have to find out what is the minimum number of deletions that you would have to make across both the strings. So you have to find out the total number of deletions over both the strings that you have to make the strings equal. And yeah, I think, and this is the if this is the one of those dynamic programming solutions which has those intimidating 2D arrays in which you have to progressively fill out the values and you'll find the final result in the bottom right of the 2D array. But I am intimidated by those solutions. But if you are too, don't worry, because this is fairly easy to follow. Once you understand the concept of the problem, you're good with it. You're good with the solution. So I'll go about defining the recursive structure of the problem first, because after that, just building the DP solution is easy. Let's say this is please ignore this example for now. I've just put this out because I didn't want to waste time later while I was doing the video. Say you have a function which takes two arguments s1 and s2, which returns the minimum number of deletions required to make s1 equal to s2. Yeah, so let's assume f is some function which takes two strings s1 and s2 and returns to us the minimum number of deletions required to make s1 equal to s2. That is basically what the problem is. Now what we'll do is we'll compare the last two characters of s1 and s2, just the last two characters. Now what are the possibilities if you compare the last two characters of s1 and s2? There are only two possibilities: either they'll be equal or either they'll be not. If they're equal, it means that we don't have to make any deletions to equate the last two characters. So we can go about inspecting the rest of the string, right? What that basically means is if the last two characters, if the last characters of s1 and s2 are equal, f of s1 s2 will be equal to 0, sorry, 0 plus f of s1. Let's assume s1 and s2 are just the length of the s1 string and s2 string. I haven't written the parameters properly, but you can, for the sake of argument, for the sake of explanation, let us assume that's what s1 and s2 are. So if the last two characters are equal, we don't have to make any deletions. That's why I've added the 0. And so basically we will then try to find the most optimal solution for the rest of the string, and the rest of the string would be s1 minus 1, meaning ignore that last character, that is already equal. Find the optimum solution for strings s1 minus 1 and s2 minus 1, like the remaining string for s1 and remaining string for s2. Yeah, and we can just remove this as 0 because yeah, we don't need that. If the last two characters are not equal, this is the trickier part. Actually, that's not very tricky but this is the crucial part, the crux of the problem. If the last two characters are not equal, then you definitely have to make a deletion, right? So we'll definitely make one deletion, and then we look at the situation. Now, where do you delete from? Do you delete from s1 or do you delete from s2? So what we'll do is we'll try and delete one character from both. and we'll just take the minimum of those two results. That's all there is to this problem. Okay, now what does that mean in terms of the recursive solution, recursive structure? So we definitely have to make one deletion to at least approach the correct answer. Okay, we only after making one deletion can we hope that we'll find an optimal solution with the rest of the strings. Now, who do we delete from? So we'll explore both possibilities. We'll take the minimum of f, oh sorry, with deleting one character from S1, but we didn't delete from S2. We don't need to delete from both, right? We'll just delete from one, and then we'll check. The uh, maybe the words were shore and shores. Now S and E do not match, right? So we'll just delete S and we'll see if the last two characters then match. And they do. I mean, I'm jumping ahead, but what I'm saying is we just need to delete character from one of the strings and compare the string that is left from the string that, what I'm trying to say is we just have to delete character from one string and compare the remaining string with the other entire string. Cool. And then so we can basically try to delete one character from S1, or we can try deleting one character from S2, and we'll just take the minimum of that, because f of S1 minus 1 S2 or f of S1 S2 minus 1 would, we are assuming that it would give us the most optimal solution, and we are accounting for the one deletion that we would have to make. This is the entire concept of this problem. If you can understand this, this problem is done. That's all there is to this problem. Cool. Now let's keep, while keeping this in mind, I think it's better if I just show you how the DP table will be constructed. Okay, let's say the word one is shores, like the first word that's passed to us is shores. We'll put that up on the rows, and the word two is seahorse, and we'll put that up on the columns. Now we'll add one extra column and one extra row, and let's say we'll just, actually I was doing a dry run. Please ignore the initial values, we'll fill those, but I'm just showing you what the initial state would be, because this is important. Okay, cool. Now we'll add one extra row and one extra column, meaning there is a column before this S, and there is a row before this S. Okay. Now now I've only shown zeros for the top row and the first column, but the entire 2D array is zero. You can assume that. Now what we'll do is we'll fill the first row, top row first, and the first column. Okay, and then we will proceed in filling the rows like this, like from left to right, left to right, left to right, and we'll go like we'll keep on filling the rows from top to bottom, and then we'll find the value here. Okay, because that's what we want, right? The f of S1 S2 basically means f of the entire length of S1, the entire length of S2. Okay, and so suppose this array is dp, called dp. So dp of I comma j, meaning any cell in this 2D table, represents the minimum number of deletions required to equate S1 of 0 to I minus 1 and S2 of 0 to j minus 1. Cool. It basically means that any any cell in the 2D array represents the minimum number of operations needed to equate those substrings. Okay, and we have added one extra row and column. That is why we can say that dp of ij is equal to s of 0 to I minus 1 and s2 of 0 to j minus 1. Okay, this is basically what this represents. So let's say we are filling this row first. Now, I'm sorry, this is stuck. Let me just reload this. Really sorry about that. Okay, so we are going to fill from left to right, and we're going to fill all the rows from top to bottom. Okay, now what would how many deletions does this represents the empty string. Let me represent this by tilde. Okay, and this also represents an empty string. Okay, let's assume that the tilde represents an empty string. Now if you have one s, how many deletions would you need to make it equal to an empty string, is what this row represents, the entries in this row. You'll need to make one deletion, right? You just have to delete s and it becomes equal to the empty string. What if your string is se? You would need two deletions because you would have to delete s and e both. And similarly, this is how this would go. If you delete all 8 characters from seahorse, it becomes equal to the empty string tilde. Okay. Similarly, we can make the same argument for the first column. Right? Now we'll start filling from left to right. Okay. So what we'll see is s equal to s. It is equal to s. So we'll go with this. Okay. It means we have to look at f of s1 minus 1, s2 minus 1, which means the diagonally opposite value, which is 0. And it does make sense, right? If s equals s, we don't need to make any deletions. And the so the minimum number of deletions is 0 for them to be equal. Now what if the string is se and s? Now e does not equal s. Remember that we are comparing the last character. So e does not equal s, right? So we'll go with this. We'll say that we have to delete one, right? And in our case, it would be deleting e, and we'll take the minimum of the top value and the value on the left, which basically means 1 plus 0. So this becomes 1, and this is how you will proceed. A does not equal s, so we'll add 1 and we'll take the minimum of 1 and 3, so this becomes 2, which makes sense. We need to delete e and a to make s equal. What this cell basically means is we are comparing sea and s, right? So we need to make what we got here is 2, which means we need to delete e and a to make s equal to s. And if you go on filling these rows from top, like the entire rows and all the rows from top to bottom, the value that you'll get here in the bottom right corner will be your final solution. This is the entire problem. I've explained the entire concept of the problem. I think this is a good place to start coding. There's no more concept that you need to know. With that, I'll just comment these out and just keep it around for reference. But I think we are good to start coding. Sorry. I'm going to be coding in Swift, but if you don't know Swift, don't worry about it because it's a very clean language. It's easy to follow. If you know Java, actually, if you know any programming language, Swift is a very clean language. It's very easy to follow. And anyway, I'll be explaining the code as I code along, so you'll know what I'm doing. Let's extract the characters first of the two words that are passed in. This is how you do it. This basically returns the characters of the string in the form of a array. So let's see. Cool. Let's create a 2D array. Now I must admit that the syntax for creating 2D arrays in Swift is very convoluted, but what I'm basically doing is creating a 2D array. I'm creating this 2D array. Okay, that's all I'm doing, and I'm initializing all values as 0. The word 1 will be here on the rows, and the word 2 will be on the columns. That's all I'm doing. So if you're confused by this syntax, don't be, because that's all that is. As I mentioned before, I'll be adding an extra column and an extra row. That is what the +1 is for. And okay, characters 1.count +1. Cool. This is the 2D DP array. Cool. We are ready to write the for loop. Now, as you can see, this is going to be a double for loop. So this will be an order n, not order n square, but order of the length of string 1 into order of the length of s2, string 2. We're going to be filling all the rows in its entirety, then moving on to the next row. So that this is how we'll go about it. Sorry. So so this is going over all the rows, and while we are going over all the rows, we are going over all the columns. The columns are formed by word 2 and the rows are formed by word 1. Cool. Now, if I equals 0, meaning we are on the first row, this row that I was talking about, we just need to assign j, because that is the number of deletions we'll need, right? Sorry, no semicolon. That is the number of deletions that we'll need, because j is going into the columns. J is going over the columns, so the value of j will be these, like 4, 5, 6, and making a similar argument for j equal to 0, dp of I j is equal to I. Cool. Now let's handle if the last two characters are equal. In that case, dp of I comma j, we don't have to make any deletions. We can just inspect the rest of the array, which basically means I minus 1, j minus 1, the rest of the strings. And this else denotes the case where the last two characters do not match. That would be minimum of dp of, should I delete from s1 or should I delete from s2? That's it. Can you believe it? That's it. We do have to return the final solution, which is this is the this is where the final value would be, bottom right, characters 2. And that's it. That's it, guys. Seriously, that's it. Let's see. This is, as you can see, a double for loop. This is an order of, so the time complexity and the space complexity would be order of the length of word 1 into length, sorry, length of word, I'm sorry, word 2. Yeah, because it's a 2D array, and you'll need, if you're traversing every cell, if you're going to be filling out every cell, it will be order of the rows into columns, and we have a 2D array, so it's order, the space complexity is also order of rows into columns. Let's, actually I should submit first so that, oh I'm sorry, press Control S by mistake. Okay, I'm so sorry. Characters of 1, characters of 2. Have I made that mistake anywhere else? Doesn't look like it. Cool. Cool, that works. I hope I did a good job in explaining the solution. One little comment that I want to make at this point is, this can actually, if you're more comfortable, or if you're familiar with the longest common subsequence problem, this can problem can all, so that is also a DP problem. But if you're already familiar with that problem, you can actually use that problem to solve this question. How? I'll tell you how. So if you think about it, you're given, say, see and eat. Okay, see and eat. Now if you find the longest common subsequence and remove that longest common subsequence from both the strings, the strings that are left with you are what you'll need, are the minimum number of deletions that you'll have to make, right? If you think about it, what I'm basically trying to say is, the minimum number of deletions would be equal to length of s1 plus length of s2 minus 2 into the longest common subsequence. Let me type it out so that you don't confuse it with substring. Substring is supposed to be continuous. So this is one thing that I found that was very interesting, and because I was familiar with longest common subsequences, that actually one of the longest common subsequences is one of the problems that I like to solve because it's very easy to follow. So when I found this, I was really amazed. I thought I'll share that also. Cool, guys. This is the solution. I hope I was able to explain it well. Cool. Please like, share, subscribe, and happy coding. Have a good day and stay safe.